My name is Amol Patel. I'm in Los Angeles. You're watching the Smoking Hot Coffee Show, where we cover internet startups. We talk to startup founders about monetization, design, and marketing. I'm joined
Hey guys, I'm
with...
Jeff Pelton, and I'm down here in San Diego.
And so today we have another great interview with a couple of co-founders from Drifty.com. They've got a couple of products. One product is Jetstrap, which allows you to build functional sort of prototypes using the very popular Bootstrap framework.
Yep, and then there's Codiqa, which does almost the same thing for mobile.
Okay, and what's really notable about these guys is they're actually in Madison and Wisconsin, and I've never heard of any startups in Madison, and it turns out there's actually several notable ones that he mentions in the interview, and more importantly, since there's not a huge ecosystem out there, how do they get their funding? How are they getting their traffic? One of the big things that are working for them is content marketing, and he talks a lot about how they're doing that. He talks a lot about how what incubator they ended up going in.
They spent 3 months at the Techstars in Texas and learned a bit there while they during that time.
And after that whole stint, they ended up going back to Madison. They talked about the advantages of being in Madison in terms of cost of living and other costs that are associated with running a startup. So it was pretty interesting interview. I tend to be really focused on design, and I ended up talking to Max about some of the design features of Jetstrap, and he talked a little bit about that.
I really love this conversation as a product and developer. We really got into HTML5 and some of the backend tools and the landscape of what's out there. And Amul, our long-running conversation is how to make all this stuff easier, right? Like, why is HTML still in code? Why is this stuff still such a pain that anyone can't do it? And it's great to talk about and see what all these new tools are to make our lives easier as, to do the fun stuff, the creative stuff, right? The designing and the product.
Yeah. Yeah, and to make it fast and not be so cumbersome. But it was really great talking to these guys. They're bootstrapped for the most part, and it's really awesome talking to people that are making it without going and raising all this money, and they're able to do it in of all places, Madison.
I'm Max, the CTO of Drifty.
And I'm Ben. I'm the CEO.
Okay. Awesome. So you guys are, when I looked up, you guys are not in California. You're not in New York. You're not in Denver. You guys are like where are you guys from?
We're both from Milwaukee area, Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. Is there a startup scene out there, man?
Yeah, I mean, it's small, but it's growing. I think it's kind of interrelated with Chicago. Okay. Which is pretty big and growing.
Right, yeah.
So, and to clarify, Max and I both grew up in Milwaukee.
Okay.
That's where we're from. We both went to the University of Madison, Wisconsin, graduated there, and now we live and run Drifty out of Madison, Wisconsin.
Okay, so you didn't go back?
Okay, cool.
No. Probably won't. But Milwaukee's a fine city.
Well, listen, man. I have to tell you, in terms of the startup world, the ecosystem, you guys are kind of like the only lone wolves out there, as far as I'm concerned. What other big startups, or do you guys even know if there are any startups out there?
Well, I mean, there are. I think the Midwest attitude is we're a little more quiet. Okay. We're not as loud on the social channels, but I mean, there's some new startups that have raised several millions of dollars here. Like one of them is Murphy. Purblue is another one. They make really popular mobile games.
Okay.
There's companies like Raven, which works on Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Yep, Raven.
So those are, I mean, it's a lot of companies that are just kind of a little quieter. Their heads down, working on stuff.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Very cool.
It's good to know. I'm glad that you could rattle a few off for us.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, so obviously the drag and drop, build your own mockups, have this thing kind of create code for you is kind of a growing space. It's a hot space, actually. Several startups have kind of revealed themselves in the last 6 months. I've seen several products out there. What do you guys think? I mean, do you think this is going to really turn into a money maker for you guys? Is this how are you guys different?
Well, I mean, it already is a money maker for us. The way we're looking at it is we're kind of starting to not really go after professional developers like someone who's really like a really good developer, we're not really serving them. And that's partly because, in my opinion, like they have tools like a text editor. They don't need a lot of other features. If they do, they're just going to play with it because it's cool tech. Right. But they're cheap and they don't buy things. So,
and to add on that, I'm a designer by trade, and I have some technical expertise. Very minor though. I can do some HTML, CSS, and these tools. I feel like they're tools that I would use and that I would pay for. And I actually had a revelation recently with Jetstrap, one of our tools. I was driving in the car with you, and I was like, man, I would buy Jetstrap. And it's my own product that I built with Max and I work on, and it's something where it helps me become a better designer and it helps me become a better developer. And it helps me to it teaches me. It makes me a better developer.
Yeah. So
let's step back and tell us about your company, Drifty, and what the two products, and I'll kind of show some of the screens while you guys are talking about it.
So everything, I guess, came together when I used to work as a designer, an interactive designer at a design shop in Madison, and I also was big on mockup tools, drag and drop. I think I used Basalmiq quite a bit.
Basalmiq, yeah.
And it's great. I love Basalmiq. I think they're doing really awesome stuff. They make mockups really easy. I love how fast and easy the software is. The learning curve, I mean, there isn't one. But I was a little frustrated that I'd spend a bunch of time making mockups with Basalmiq, and you don't get anything usable at the end. You just get mockups, which is fine, and there's value there. But I think Max and me were frustrated by that. I know we started working on a project called Codiqa, where we wanted to make something that was just as easy to use, just simple, but it also gave clean, valuable, usable, production-ready HTML at the end. And that was the goal. That was our first sort of step into this water, so to speak.
Awesome. So that's a huge differentiator from the other competitors.
Yeah. So Codiqa was the first project, and that was kind of focusing on mobile. And then like 6 or 7 months ago, we kind of saw that Bootstrap was becoming popular, and we had like this tech that would apply to kind of any generic framework, and we decided let's build one for Bootstrap because the market is growing, and that's where Jetstrap came, and that's kind of new. We're still we just started charging last month, and it's looking really promising, but it's very young.
All right, so when you say looking very promising, what are we looking at? A couple of hundred people are paying for this? 10 people? What does that mean, promising?
It's exceeding our expectations. We're not releasing numbers on any of this stuff, but it's doing really well, and it's very promising. What it is from now on is just kind of tweaking and optimizing and making sure that the product is kind of getting a fair exchange of value. So that's kind of our next project on Jetstrap.
I have to tell you, man, as a designer, I've played around with all these tools, man, and you get a lot of garbage code out of it, and Bootstrap has taken off recently, and if you guys can come up with a clean way so I don't have to write all the code from scratch and I'm just doing some slight adjustments, this could really take, there's a lot of designers out there that would love something like this, so there's no question there's a market.
Yeah, so you guys, go ahead.
Just extend that. I mean, Jetstrap alone already has over 80,000, people who signed up to use it.
Whoa, 80,000!
So there's a lot of interest. 80,000.
80, yeah, 80,000. That's a lot of signups, man.
Yeah.
So there is excitement around this space.
Holy cow, man! 80,000. I was thinking like maybe a couple of hundred, a couple of thousand here. 80. That's pretty great. How long has this been out?
So those aren't paying customers.
No, but that's just users.
Some of them are.
But that's just because it was free for 6 months. We just started charging. Our other product has 60,000, so got a lot of users on our tools.
That's great.
So clearly, when people have a pain point like this, they're willing to share that story with other people, right? I mean, how are you guys getting this buzz to, how are you getting so many people to talk about this?
So, I mean, a lot of it's on Twitter. We are pretty active, and that's kind of how we started with getting the word out. But with our other product, we get a lot of referrals because we're on some tech, that product's for jQuery Mobile, so we're active in the jQuery Mobile community, which helps. And with Jetstrap, we're active in the Bootstrap community. and there's a lot of referrals that come from there. And then search engine, we get a lot of traffic from. But yeah, on Twitter, like we're pretty active and we'll share our stuff a lot.
So when you say you're active in the community in Bootstrap, what does that mean? Are you guys like, are there a couple of big Bootstrap sites that you're constantly commenting on, adding links? What does that really translate to?
The way I look at it is our tool is bringing Bootstrap to more people, so that's how we're contributing. We do explore like what other people are making in this space and share it around, and kind of work on some of our own stuff. Like we've got some open source things that we've contributed to the community, specifically with the jQuery mobile community. We're working on some for Bootstrap, but these are just kind of things that we do over time.
And I would add also, one of the biggest tools for getting the word out, at least for us, is just inbound marketing, sharing, writing our blogs, teaching.
Okay.
It's been extremely helpful to us, to the point where it's helped us grow this company without having to spend very much money at all on advertisements.
Yeah,
Okay.
tell us more about that. I'll pull up your blog. I mean, I was telling Amul what an awesome blog you guys both have. You're on Hacker News sometimes. Like, tell us where where are the real strong points in the content game.
Yeah, I mean, Hacker News is a good one. So we've had a few like highly ranked posts on Reddit. People will just share our stuff on Twitter when we blog.
Right.
A lot of the traffic comes from just Google, just like SEO and just being ranked highly for relevant keywords.
And it comes to your blog?
To our blog, to a lesser extent, to the homepage, a
Uh-huh.
decent amount.
Okay.
We had a girl on from an incubator out in Latvia, and she talked about how she would write these posts, and then she would try to get them, on like read-write, I think she got placed on Forbes. And do you guys actively look at different other media outlets, or is this all strictly your own stuff on your own sites?
We've had a few external sites. That's something that we could probably do better. But for now, it's just kind of on our own thing.
Gotcha. Very cool. I have to say, how long do you guys spend on this, like putting together the posts? Is this a couple of days or a couple of hours? What does they tend to end up being?
Well, for some of the ones I've written, it's usually I'll come up with something in my head. I'll be thinking about something, and I'll be like, all right, I need to write this down, and I'll just like throw it on the page, and then Ben will design like a nice graphic for it, and then we'll edit it a few times. It takes about a day, sometimes 2 days.
Okay. Yeah, I have to tell you, even as a designer, I know Jeff is suffering from the same problem. We both know we got to write more and we got to like blog and all this stuff, but we're just so like it feels so painful sometimes just creatively getting into that writing space as opposed to hacking some JavaScript or me pixel pushing in Photoshop. What do you guys do to like? How do you guys break out of that, man?
Well, you just have to tell yourself that like coding's not going to save you. It's not the answer to your problems.
Good quote. Coding's not going to save you.
Yeah, marketing is like a huge part of why we're here today and growing.
Okay.
So,
gotcha.
Awesome. Tell us, how did you guys meet each other, and what's the team look like? It's just the two of you, or?
We got another guy over here, Andrew. But Max and I met when we were like 4 years old, which a lot of people don't know. So we grew up together in Milwaukee. We both went to grade school, high school, and we both went to University of Madison. Roomed together. We've been working on stuff together for a long time. And Max, you used to run like a website back in high school.
Yeah,
sort of like
we've been doing stuff forever.
Very cool. I mean, it kind of shows. I was going to say you guys are so comfortable together, like brothers.
Yeah, we're sitting in the same screen together.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got to be pretty close to fit in the same camera shot on the MacBook Pro or whatever.
I'm leaning in on Max a little too much here. Yeah.
All right, you know what, man?
I was going to ask though, because Amul and I have started to figure out we kind of rely on each other for the accountability. To keep pushing ourselves each day to publish a blog post. Sort of having or maybe the fictional like audience out there waiting for you. Is there any of those sort of motivations that you use to keep at it every day, or is it just you guys just do this because you love it? comes naturally?
Well, we definitely do it because we love it. It's why we left our jobs. It's why we just started building this stuff on the side and couldn't stop. But I think one of the things that I've learned that has kept me motivated and keeps me looking forward to everything that we do is when we hear from our customers and when we hear from our users, when they tell us, hey, this changed my life. Like, this tool allowed me to do something that I wasn't able to do before. Right. And hearing that sort of stuff every day from real people around the world is just like, it's the coolest thing.
Yeah. Totally gets you jazzed. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit more about that channel. Early on, you mentioned that you realized that maybe hardcore developers weren't the audience for the product. And how'd you start to figure that out?
So that is something that we're kind of working on right now. We do have a lot of hardcore developers use our product, but it's more like kind of introspection on my part, and it's kind of like asking myself, like, am I really a good customer of most products? And the answer is no. Like, I don't, like, as a developer, like, my time, I don't attach value to it because I love programming as a hobby. So, but a lot of other people, they attach like some kind of value to the time spent building things in a way that they would happily pay if you made their life easier. And I'm not one of those people because I'm a developer. I love doing this. So I kind of looked at myself and said, like, do I want to build products for me? And we realized, like, no, we want to build products for people who really appreciate tools that kind of enable them to do something they weren't able to do before, that keeps them from having to learn how to code by hand. So that's kind of the direction that really inspires us because it's working. Like, our customers tell us, like, they were never able to build a mobile app or a mobile website before without our tools. And that's awesome.
Very cool. I have to tell you, from a designer perspective, you know, I'm always like looking up, oh man, what was that syntax for that transform property or that keyframe transition property, whatever it happened to be. And it's kind of annoying, man. And you know, Bootstrap has made it easier. But I've been designing for many years. I'm 42 now, and I remember back in Flash, you know, you tween stuff, and then it'd be great if somebody came out with a really easy way to do tweening and to do motion control that spit out HTML5. I mean, I don't know if this is ever going to happen. Maybe it'll happen one day, you know, again. But
that product exists. I'll give a shout out. I guess there's a product called Hype, and then there's I think Adobe has like a Flash kind of product, but for HTML5.
But you know, it seems like anything Adobe puts out, I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's like Dreamweaver again or something. Yeah, I mean, it's a really big problem. Amul and I have actually been sharing this passion for a really long time. Interface builders and sort of tools to just help, you know, like coding kind of sucks naturally. It's like not really the natural language of the way you think about the application and the way you want it to work and the way, you know, what you want it to do for you. It's very unintuitive. And so it's tough, and we look for like these Nirvana type tools to help us do that drag and drop interface builders, and I think you guys are getting, you know, have gone pretty far into that. We applaud you. I mean, it's so difficult, right, to not become Dreamweaver 10.0 or whatever. They're at.
Yeah, I would say one of our like main goals with our products is simple, right? Like easy to use, like not complicated, like purposefully, and a lot of times purposefully leaving things out because they're not necessary. I think Dreamweaver, as a perfect example of something that put every possible scenario into the product, and I mean, you get an overcluttered, difficult to use, poor exporting tool. And it's people I think are still sore about it. We're trying to make like interface builders cool again.
And we've got competitors, and our customers tell us that they pick us, even though some of our competitors have like every feature that you could. They use our stuff because they can actually like use it without having to like learn how to use this tool.
Right.
So, the whole point is they don't want to feel burdened, right?
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's great.
No, I mean that editing function, being able to put in just enough, you know, keeping it minimal, that's got to be tricky, man. I'm sure both of you guys probably argue about that, right? We've got the designer, we've got the developer, wants all this control. Designer's like, no, make it simple, bro, make it simple. You know,
I think it's actually me more time saying
the interesting thing is he'll say no, and because being a designer, I'm like, oh, well, I want to be able to do this. Maybe we could just add this one more thing. And he's like, no, like.
Maybe that's because I'm lazy.
Yeah, maybe.
Lazy developer.
Yeah.
So as a product guy, though, I love this. Like, how do you make these decisions? How do you decide what to cut out? What is the real feedback loop you have with your customers? Is it the feedback tab on the site when they're using it? Do you actually reach out to them? They reach out to you and say, hey, thanks for this feature, and this is what I use it for, and you get, you said intuition, right? But what's the data?
I think it's a lot of different factors. They'll reach out to us. We have reached out to them. We send out surveys. We ask them what they'd like to see next.
Okay.
Also, I'd say Max and I are building these products also kind of for ourselves.
Right.
And so it feels right. If something doesn't feel right, we get rid of it. If all of a sudden we come on something that feels right, we leave it in.
Hey, so
Yeah, I'd say we tend to, we need to be better about making decisions based on data, but we tend to kind of go with our gut a lot, which has worked so far. So we're kind of trying to combine both the gut and the data.
Cool. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just looking for the tools for others listening out there. But dog fooding, right? Like solving your own problems. There's nothing wrong with that. Using your own intuition to, the customers aren't going to always tell you exactly what's going to work.
Hey, so I have to ask you guys. There have been so many frameworks, man. CSS Grid, man, every week seems like somebody's got some other framework, man. And right now, Bootstrap is being loved by lots of people. Is this gonna be the framework that'll, the one that'll rule the whole lands for years and years? What's your feeling, guys?
So what I love about Bootstrap is it's such a solid framework that you could use other things and bring them in, but as it stands, it does the job really, really well. I think everything else that tries to compete against it is only like a marginal improvement. I think the big thing with Bootstrap, and people are working on this, is just getting the theming easier. So the biggest complaint is everything looks like Bootstrap.
Yeah.
So,
that's my complaint. Yeah.
I think that's a small problem, and it's already being worked on.
Okay.
But I'm really excited about it. Like it works very well for pretty much 90%, 99% of what you need to do on the web.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Holy cow. So what about, same thing goes with the JavaScript. You've got your Backbone, you've got your Angular, you've got all this other stuff. Is there, what's your feeling? Do you think there'll be another JavaScript one that'll rule the lands for years and years? And that'll be tied to Bootstrap and then we'll be forever done? Or what's your...
I think, well, see, that's a different issue because developers like new things. They like shiny new things.
Yes, they do.
Whether or not they actually need them. I know, because I'm the same way. Like, I love new tech. I use Backbone. I love it. Some of the stuff I used in Backbone, I actually replaced with just CoffeeScript because I just wanted some more object structure in my code. So, I mean, honestly, I'm satisfied with Backbone, but I'm always looking for new things.
Wow. Yeah, it's the Wild West out there. I'm a fan of Backbone. I've been using it for the past year at least. And but the To-Do MVC site or project shows us there's a massive head-to-head competition of all these different competitors. So I think it's yet to shake out.
Well, and we might incorporate some of the markup-based data binding into some of our products, which I think is interesting. And
yeah, I mean, like Angular and I like the ones that are kind of changing the way we look at it and opening our mind to like, oh wait, maybe there's another way to do it that'll just wipe away some other problems we had before. And like you're saying, now you're going to take it to the consumer level, or like you're going to make it even easier in a.
I think it's more like that. There's a solid foundation on some of those tools that we could incorporate in like the GUI tool.
That's what I'm always looking for.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
We're so close.
Yeah, so we haven't started working on anything like that, but we've been kind of thinking if that's something we want to do.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've talked to guys like Wade at Zapier, and if then that is real hot. Definitely connecting all these things we're so close to getting all these APIs chatting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
So from a design perspective, I haven't had a chance to play around with your Bootstrap product, but Jetstrap. But do you guys have GUI tools for gradients and some of the more CSS3 stuff? The animation, transitions, all that crap.
Not yet. That's something we're looking into. We've got some ideas on how to do that in a really easy way, but we're not ready to release anything yet.
Okay.
All right, cool. Yeah. So where are you guys going? Anything you can tell us about?
Yeah, tell
the
us
future
something,
of Drifty?
please.
Are you furthering? Are you still working on the 2 products, or you? You said you're working on other products as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's good.
I mean,
Yeah, light. I like that. Leave that light on. Whatever you guys just did.
oh, I moved my head.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry,
okay.
I didn't know it was so dark.
Oh, that's fine.
We just moved into a new office.
Okay.
So with Bootstrap, what we've actually kind of built is just a generic HTML building block tool that I kind of equate with like a new version of like the old text editors like CK Editor or TinyMCE. This is more of a you don't really have to code at all. It's very flexible, drag and drop. So we're probably going to focus on other problems that can be solved with HTML using that technology.
Okay.
And we're not ready to announce anything yet, but
We have something up the pipeline.
yeah.
Oh, no. Okay, wait. No, we're not going to let you go that easy, man. Okay, how about font face? How about all these font libraries? Typekit. Tell me topography.
Yeah, we're working on.
Yeah, we're going to add those features to our existing tools. Okay. We're going to make more products too.
Okay. All right. Good. Line height, kerning, all that stuff, man. I just live for line height, man. Line height, kerning.
So does he.
Me too, man. I'm with you.
That's like the one thing developer, designer, the rift, like, line height, guys, baseline.
Trying to get this guy on board with it.
I'm on board.
He just got Photoshop, so.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
I can crop. I'm the crop master.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Definitely.
That's cool. All right, so come on. So what? You got to tell us something. What else you guys got up your sleeve here?
I mean, like you said, like we're trying to make it easier to build like nice looking, like work on theming. That's something that we want to tackle. Working on back-end stuff, like making it easy to add like data-driven applications.
So are you guys going after like Squarespace?
No, I think Squarespace is really cool. It's not really something that it's not a development tool. It's more like I'm just going to put up a website. I'm a consumer. We're really going after kind of more business people, like people working on products that have a development cycle. That's our target user right now. Okay. And so we're kind of just going to make their life easier. That's our plan.
Okay, so the products are all going to be focused on targeted at them.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm starting to see how the strategy you can add components around this, almost like 37 Signals I think did for a little while with all their complementary software as a service.
Exactly.
I can totally see how what you're saying is Bootstrap is the HTML component of that, and I'm looking forward to see what you guys come out with around that.
So going back to the content marketing piece, have you guys noticed that case studies tend to work really well to drawing a lot of inbound? Is it just sharing what other people are doing with Bootstrap? What's really like catching fire?
Teaching.
Case studies, we haven't done a lot of case studies. It's been more like original content on our end, like building tutorials. Like on our Drifty blog, we blog about more like business stuff, like like who we are as a business. Our other products, like, it's kind of like, here's how you can build this cool new thing. Or
yeah, so for Codiqa, some of our biggest posts have been, how to do X, Y, and Z in Backbone. Or how we use Backbone to build this in Codiqa. Or how you can build a theme with jQuery Mobile Theme Roller. How to do X, Y, and Z regarding mobile. Why prototyping is better than mockups. Or stuff like that, where we share our opinion, but we also give some sort of value to people, try to teach them something.
Gotcha. And then, of course, integrate your product in if you can.
I mean, most of it naturally will link back into... So there's Graphite. So Graphite is something that we made in open source. It's an open source theme library for jQuery Mobile.
I'm looking at it, man. Oh, I love this design, man. Very clean, very minimal. Dig it.
Thank you.
Yeah, very nice.
So that's something where we wanted to build something and give back to the community.
Yeah, so tell us about what you guys do on GitHub and how that helps.
I mean, that project, Graphite, is one that we built, basically wanted to kind of make the default themes for jQuery Mobile a little more like modern and a little flatter, I guess.
Right.
So we built that, open sourced it. It's seen a good amount of popularity.
And in return, it links back to us. Links back to Codiqa.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, but I mean, like the success of jQuery Mobile is our success,
Yeah.
So it's at the end of the day, like that's really what's driving the growth in the space is jQuery mobile, and we just want to help it and be a part of it.
Gotcha. I'm gonna go off really quick on a tangent here on design tangents. One trend we've been noticing is, yeah, of course, the flat color design trend. We've been noticing that really big. And the other one, and I talked to Jeff about this, is Proxima Nova is like everywhere.
I keep telling Max, like, 20 years from now, we're going to just see, like, Proxima Nova everywhere. It's, like, going to take over Helvetica.
Dude, I mean, I love Helvetica, and I've been actually using Proxima Nova for everything, man. I can't help myself.
It's a pretty gorgeous typeface. Internally, I use Gotham
Really?
a lot.
Oh, Gotham, okay.
And I feel like Proxima Nova is like a sister or brother to Gotham. They're like really, really similar.
Oh, wow.
So we actually both of our logos, Codiqa and Jetstrap for our products, those are Gotham.
Oh, is that
Gotham
right? Okay, yeah, you're a big fan of Gotham. So are you even using Helvetica anymore? Is Helvetica kind of like, eh?
I mean, it's. I think we still use Helvetica through Codiqa, but Jetstrap is 100% Proxima Nova as well as our Drifty website, and we'll probably be. We're going to make a new website for Codiqa this summer, most likely. We'll probably get a nice Proxima Nova update as well.
And how long do you think this flat color trend is going to last, man? Is it going to burn out? Because right now it's really hot.
It is hot. I actually just posted something about that a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
My thoughts on it are it's a trend just like any other trend. You know, just it'll have its day, and designers will get sick of it, as we always do.
Right.
And we'll move on to something else. So it's kind of like developers in that sense. We're always looking for the hottest new look.
Yeah, the new shiny thing. Yeah.
I'm personally more of a fan of like the hybrid. There's, you know, it has some bevel, it has some like poppiness, but not too much, not too drop shadow heavy, not too tech shadow heavy.
Right.
But still some flatness. So I try to like combine the two a little bit. I'm not the biggest fan of 100% flat because I think sometimes it can detract from understanding a interface.
Right.
Not enough differentiation.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I agree. So, you know, it'd be really great if we can all sort of push Comic Sans in the future, man.
I agree. I'm for that.
It's making a comeback.
Yeah, Comic Sans.
Next product will be all Comic Sans, perhaps. So,
what other hot tools are there, guys, out there besides what you guys are building? Just like web technology, like @FontFace, like you know, I've used a Typekit or something to you know, get some of those fonts in my sites. Anything you know, interesting on the edge that we should know about, just as web developers, designers?
Yeah, so I'm like super excited about Backend as a service. Basically, kind of, you know, you have that platform as a service stage with Heroku, which we use. It's popular, but now, like, you know, people don't need to really even know what a server is. You know, I mean, they do, but you can do everything basically in JavaScript, which is great for our tools because we don't host anything. It's kind of, we push that off to other hosting providers, which they just focus on making awesome back-end services. So like Kinvey is one, StackMob, Parse, although with the Facebook acquisition, I think people are sour on them. Those are the tools I'm really, really excited about.
Yeah, are there any, you know, I'm just going to throw my hat in here. I've been working on an open source sort of version of this, and, you know, I love to hate on Parse because it's like, oh, what's the pricing? How are you going to rely on it? Why would you build on them when you don't control anything, really? But, you know, like you're saying, you just want this dumb box to be like a RESTful server, right? And like a real-time server and just like handle it. You know, I don't want to worry about the thumbnail getting, you know, the images getting thumbnailed and the uploads getting parsed and all this junk.
I think.
What are you guys using?
So I mean, I'm a little old school, or was when we built Codiqa. Like, we have our own backends. We're using Heroku for Jetstrap.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But what kind of backend server?
Oh, so it's all Python. Python, Django on the back end.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, a lot of the code that we write is client side. So CoffeeScript, JavaScript. That's pretty much the extent of it right now. Our backend is actually really simple.
Yeah, is it just a RESTful server, or does it actually generate pages?
Yeah, it's just RESTful. Basically storing and retrieving your the extent of it.
Love it. Yeah, I love that paradigm. Like, I really think that when iPhone apps came around, it kind of forced the separation of client and server upon us. And the APIs and the restfulness, like I said, the APIs being able to talk together, it's like kind of establishing a common language and medium for everyone. I think it's great. And then we can focus, like, hey, just throw everything on the client, like let them do the work anyways, right?
Well, and some of the benefits, like another tool I really like is Firebase. And
Firebase. Yeah.
Similar concept, but they really do the real-time, like multi-client stuff well. So you'll get, it's like you make an update and all the clients update, and that's difficult to write on your own. And they've kind of solved that problem.
Right.
Some other thing that I think is interesting too is like somebody in Madison's working on like a CDN that handles like optimizing for mobile and kind of doing responsive images in a way that is not just shrinking them, but like kind of picking the focal point. That's something I think is really awesome.
Oh, and they're serving up different size images based on the viewport?
Yeah, so like it's called CDN Connect, and like they have a picture of like Obama speaking, and when you shrink the page down, instead of just shrinking the image, it actually like cuts out, like crops his face.
Just his face, gotcha.
Like tools like that are really like changing what it means to be responsive.
Right.
So I'm really excited about those two.
And they're a Madison-based company.
Yeah, they're Madison.
Yeah, another Madison's. All right, so going back to Madison here, man. So you guys saying you're getting customers, things are going well. Are you guys looking for any venture funding or angels to come in and give you a nice payday here? Are you guys looking for an exit at any point here? Are you guys just going to be brothers and hanging in the Madison, keeping it bootstrap? What's your go forward money wise?
We've been bootstrapped from the beginning. Both Max and I worked on Drifty on the side while we had full-time jobs until we were able to make enough revenue to leave our jobs. We actually just finished up at Techstars.
Wait, what's that again? What's it called? Tech what?
Techstars.
Techstars. Oh, okay.
Techstars.
Okay.
So we just went through Techstars. We were living in Texas for 3 months, and we just moved back to Madison.
Okay.
And that is the only funding we've taken so far, which was a very small amount from Techstars. And our goal is to continue bootstrapping the company from here on out. We love what we're doing. We want to do this for a long time. We want to make products. We want to be our own bosses. And
awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's our goal.
Yeah, but I mean, in terms of like our ambitions, like we're still incredibly ambitious. Like, I think the biggest role model for us right now is Atlassian, like a huge company that bootstrap and kind of, funding is still like on the table in the future, but right now, like, we don't need it. Like, we're getting new customers, we're growing revenue.
Okay.
It feels right to us, so like that's kind of our approach.
Yeah, don't take the funding unless you have a reason for it. What can you tell us anything you learned at Techstars? How was Texas?
Yeah. Tell us about that. Yeah.
Tell us about the time there. 3 months. What?
It was really great. Like, we met a lot of incredibly smart people. Worked with a lot of people on like just how we can optimize just take full advantage of the opportunity that we have. So yeah, I mean, we met a lot of like mentors who are kind of used to run companies like us, but 10 years before us.
Gotcha.
So they have an interesting perspective because they were successful, and I think like us younglings have kind of forgotten, the basics of just making lots of money.
Yeah.
So getting like that perspective is really helpful to us.
Well, give us a for instance.
I mean, like cross-selling your products.
Okay.
Not just giving everything away for free. Trying to find like a fair value exchange.
Okay.
Selling to more traditional businesses, which a lot of techies don't understand because they don't want to understand.
Right.
Like the corporate world.
Yes.
But the corporate world has a lot of money and they need products like this.
That's right. That's right.
It's kind of,
so speaking of which, what would be a good vertical for you guys to go after? You guys going to go after like ad agencies? Where do you guys see this maybe being?
Well, I mean, we're kind of doing like a horizontal play in a lot of ways. We've got government agencies using our stuff, small development shops, like just freelancers who have like, kind of selling to their own clients.
Okay.
We're kind of all over the map. We're really gonna in the next few months kind of focus on some of the bigger customers.
Okay. So is that something? Wait, did we lose you?
Oh, looks like you lagged out for a second.
Yeah, sorry.
All right, so someone just squeezed the internet hose.
Sorry, so let's go back into that. I want to dive into this because I'm big on marketing. So, would you guys even explore paid marketing or PPC or any sort of other like getting a sales guy on board? Is that even something that you know?
We're feeling it out right now. We haven't been that way, and things have gone really well for us. And we've been really successful at inbound marketing and being bootstrapped. We love hacking the system and finding ways to grow without paying money to do so.
Okay.
And we've gotten pretty good at it.
Yeah, I was talking with someone today just like about Atlassian specifically, and they were able to really hack enterprise sales without salespeople.
Ooh, wait, hold on. You got to go back and tell me about this one. Enterprise sales is supposed to be a real pain in the ass, really long sales cycle, lots of people to convince, lots of people to get them to agree on things. What do they do?
It's all about getting at the ground level, like getting the developers, getting the individuals to sign on. They're the ones that are becoming the purchasing decision makers in a way.
Okay.
And that's their approach. That's kind of been our approach. I think that's kind of the future of enterprise sales.
Okay.
We have a lot to learn though. Don't get me wrong.
Gotcha.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah, I'd say be careful too. Atlassian, I was unfortunately got to use them on my last corporate job. Someone did pick them from the team, and I sort of let them because I didn't care that much at the time. But there's an incredible forum thread that they don't support Git. I was just like, okay, guys, and they kind of baited us into thinking they had it, and they don't. I just want to let you know, once you cross that enterprise border, you're kind of in another territory, where sometimes you lose the respect of the little guys, who really want, some of those key features and feel a little bit left out, I guess. When there's a whole bunch of people screaming, why is this not here? And you said it was on this one page, and then it's not behind. You don't tell us it's not there until we pay. And it's a little bit weird.
Everyone makes mistakes, I guess. I'm sure they're probably trying to work on that.
They've clearly convinced a lot of people to use it, and they have a whole bunch of products that are great.
I have to tell you though, Jeff, once you get those big enterprise clients, my God, talk about the kind of revenue. I mean, it's super spiky. I mean, I wish you guys luck. If you guys land some of these big corporate clients, you guys will be possibly moving into a different space.
I hope not.
We'll have to hire more people.
Yeah, you'll have to hire more people.
Well, we're growing, so we plan to add
We're trying to hire more people.
Yeah, we're looking for developers. So
really,
right.
Okay.
Well,
cool.
Yeah, let me pull up your jobs page.
Let's get into that. What kind of stuff? What are you guys looking for in terms of partnerships and jobs, and what kind of things do you need right now?
Just in terms of jobs, we've got we're really looking for people who are great JavaScript, CoffeeScript developers that love building things in the browser, that kind of see the future of application development in the browser, and I think that's something that's one of our biggest biggest needs right now is a JavaScript hacker. And then in terms of partnerships, we're just looking for people that want to bring these tools inside of their companies, get more people more people developing with tools like ours, like Codiqa and Bootstrap, because they don't have the skills in-house to build mobile apps, or they're kind of new to HTML5. Our tools really help. So and we're also looking for people that want to plug in their tech behind our stuff, because back-end services are a perfect example. We're focusing on the front end, and the back end it's a natural partnership.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That makes sense. It makes sense.
Right.
Everybody and their mother right now is looking for JavaScript hackers, guys. Everybody.
Yeah.
And their mother is looking for JavaScript hackers. So how, I obviously being in Madison, do you want somebody there in the room working with you guys, or are you guys okay with some guy working out of his home in the middle of nowhere?
It depends. We're very much open to remote work. But it just depends on the person. It depends on if they fit with us culturally.
Right.
So far, we've been hiring based on, are you a good fit for us? Can you hang out with us? Are you someone who could go grab a beer with us?
Okay.
Because someone's personality, it's the one thing you can't change.
Yeah.
But you can help someone, and you can help help someone learn new technology. You can help them become a better whatever it is that they're working on. But you can't change who they are. So
yeah, I mean, I think like we're just trying to build our culture up right now. So we're kind of looking for local people primarily.
Local, yeah.
Because it's just like it's fun, just hang out in the office and
yeah.
kind of work together. It's easier. It's like so, but we're definitely like we live in HipChat, so remote work is something that we've done, and we definitely are open to it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So obviously, creating that virtual company culture is different from physical company culture. It's obviously a big challenge. I know that for sure. Jeff,
you guys have a sexy product though, so it's easy to attract people. I'm sure.
That helps.
And talented people.
Well, and you know, there's a lot of really smart people in Madison. Like the university is one of, the top, I think 30 whatever universities in the country, and it draws an international crowd. So there's a lot of smart people here, and they love Madison living. And in some ways, like we're not competing against like the insane salaries out in the Bay Area, which is nice because we're bootstrapped, so our capital requirements are lower. But you actually, in some ways, you take home more money here because you're not wasting it on like $3,000 apartment.
No, rent is crazy out there, man. No, there's no question. All right, cool. Well, I really quickly here, I noticed that you guys aren't looking for any designers. What about the designer love? I mean, I guess, is there even any designers needed anymore? You just need one guy, basically, designing the app, that's it?
That's me. I do all of our design. It may come to the point, so the other thing is we like hiring people who are design-oriented, who have an eye for design. They don't need to be great designers, but they have an eye for it. Okay. Because we're shippers. We like building something and just putting it out there. Right. And hopefully we can find people that also make it at least look decent to start with.
Gotcha.
We're pretty lean. But the fact that I'm here, I'll usually take a look at whatever we put out, most things, before they get put out. Right. Unless Max is being rogue. But this summer there's going to be some exciting design updates. I'm hopeful about at least. Okay. So we'll see.
Cool. I pulled open your Dribble. Do you ever give us early screenshots of stuff on here, or should
I was thinking. I haven't posted in a while. Techstar has really distracted me for 3 months with the business. So,
sure.
But I'll be posting some previews of some stuff we have.
Yeah, give us some previews of what's coming up, and we'd love to hear about it all on the show.
I'm a designer, man. I want to know. Give us the tiny little screenshot. Yeah. All right. So listen, it's been really great having you guys on the show. If people want to get a hold of you, what's a good email?
So founders@drifty.com is great.
Okay. Awesome. Very cool. Very cool. And if there is somebody out there watching this on YouTube is thinking about building a product or has got a couple of guys working on something, what's a good advice for you give them if they're struggling?
I mean, I would say just get it out there as early as possible. I'm embarrassed by how terrible Jetstrap was the first time we launched it. In Codiqa, when we launched it, I didn't realize, but it didn't work for most people. But people get inspired by what you've made, and they kind of get on board, and they want to help you take it to a 1.0 stable. Yeah. So just get it out there. Don't be a perfectionist. Is probably the worst thing to be if you're trying to launch a new product, because people don't care like you care. They don't see things the way you see them. I think that's probably my biggest advice.
I would add on to that. Find something. Work on something that you're passionate about. If it's something if it's solving a problem in your own life, that's even better. If it's in a space that you are particularly interested in, like I said, passionate about, then it's not going to be work. It's going to be play.
Right.
And that's what it is for us every day. And so.
Well, let me ask you real quick then, before we wrap up. I want to rewind a little bit, but was this a natural transition for you guys to start this, or was it a huge leap? You said you quit your jobs. What were you doing before?
We were both working at a mobile gaming company. I was doing
something similar.
Yeah, we were making mobile games. I was doing design there. Max is a lead developer there. I actually was also doing some work at a design agency, working on mobile websites, building Mockups in Basalmiq, and it's sort of all transitioned and converged together with Max and I.
Yeah, I mean, so when I left my full-time job, and I was kind of like, all right, I need some money because we weren't making very much back then.
Right.
I was like a year and a half ago, and so I did some contract work on the side, which was nice because I could still like run my own business and not feel like I'm giving my soul up to another company.
Right.
Right. And but still make money. So I think that's a really great way to like make a transition. But yeah, it was kind of a slow transition. We, you know, in hindsight, like it wasn't very risky. Like I don't feel like I ever took a huge risk. You know, that's like the myth that you have to like put your life in danger just to start this kind of stuff.
Yeah. No, I love to hear it. I mean, I think DHH was saying the same thing. You know, that you know, it doesn't have to be some like crazy moonshot, that you can actually, you know, just start this thing up without a ton of stress. I pulled up your blog post, lifestyle businesses. You know, I think it's real great that you know, people start thinking this way. Maybe. About business,
actually,
right? It shouldn't be a dirty word.
No. Well, and actually, like, I don't consider ourselves a lifestyle business, or whatever definition of that is. I actually found an essay that I loved. It was called like the 2013 Startup, and I definitely think that's really like us. I don't have the link right now, but it was recently like on Hacker News, and it's basically like the 2013 Startup is trying to find like a paying customers and revenue before they like kind of go all in, and that's kind of what we did. And, you know, we're still crazy ambitious. It's not really, it has nothing to do with that. We're just like, we're stubborn. We want to do things our way, and we think we can.
You guys got plenty of room to grow.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Wow. Very cool. Very cool. Well, thanks again for being on our show, guys. It's been really helpful.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
It's been fun.
And
all of our audience is going to go check out your products for sure. They need it. Trust me.
Yeah, and
awesome.
You know. And we're trying to do this thing where every 6 months or so we check in on everybody, see if they're still around, see if they've moved on past the ramen noodles, and so we're looking forward to doing that with you guys.
Sure. Right. Yeah. Feel free.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Thanks again, guys.
All right, guys. Have a great weekend. Take care.
Later.
Take care.
All right.